Tonight, a new CNN investigation looking at the dark side of some of the enormous sums of money being raised this election cycle. Specifically, our exclusive reporting uncovered dozens of elderly Americans, including many suffering from dementia, being exploited by unsavory political fundraising tactics. We're talking about millions of dollars lost, and for some, their entire life savings. Now, groups representing both parties are involved, but the biggest beneficiary of the small dollar donations from unwitting donors identified by CNN was Donald Trump. Kyung La has that story.
So you made more than 100 donations in one day.
My gosh.
The Benjamin family has had this conversation before. 81-year-old Richard Benjamin just doesn't remember.
So between these 2 months, it's over $60,000.
Richard Benjamin has dementia.
WinRed. Boy, there was a lot of them WinRed ones.
Ultimately, he gave away more than $80,000 in political donations, all going through a fundraising platform called WinRed. Republican campaigns rely on it to solicit donations, often using misleading ads through email and text messages like, "We tried to warn you, but you kept ignoring us. President Trump personally tapped you. This is not a drill."
When we looked at his phone told the whole story because he would get
dozens
of text messages a day referring to him as a patriot and thank you for helping us save America.
I was dealing with President Trump, and so it came up that when they wanted to find out what I was doing, that's what I put in.
He really, in his heart, believed that Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr. and other politicians were personally reaching out to him.
He just didn't have the capacity to understand what it was that he was actually doing.
Benjamin's information was shared across dozens of Republican campaigns, and he was overwhelmed by deceptive messages begging for money. The result? His children say Benjamin was duped into giving away his life savings.
You had to get a home equity line of credit to pay this off, right?
Yeah, so it depleted his savings, and then we moved him over here to assisted living and then sold his house.
You had to sell a house, move him,
sell his car.
And this
And then
is
he did
all
it
from
again.
$10 and $25 donations.
He had essentially put himself $50,000 in debt after he had given them his life savings.
Do these political campaigns bear some responsibility?
They have very sophisticated operations. It's really outrageous. I mean, there's no other way to frame it.
CNN's investigative team reviewed more than 1,000 public reports and complaints and found deceptive political fundraising by Republicans and Democrats has victimized hundreds of elderly Americans, misleading them into donating far more than they intended. And it adds up. A sample of just 52 elderly donors, many who suffer from dementia or cognitive decline, gave away more than $6 million of their life savings, the majority to Donald Trump and other Republican candidates.
She was so careful with money. My mother used to count the pennies. She basically drained all the accounts, everything but $250.
Karen's mother, Jolene, gave Republicans nearly $200,000. She died earlier this summer from stage 4 cancer amid cognitive decline. We met Karen at her mother's home in California. It's empty as she prepares it for the rental market. Karen asked we not use their last name, fearing retaliation.
This is outrageous. It was like a total fraud. The bank was sending fraud alerts because of it, because they were charging her $3, $20, $15, as if somebody was hacking into your credit card, but it was WinRed that was charging all these.
Even the money her mother set aside for a funeral was gone.
I have this pit in my stomach. It makes me feel like throwing up. Thinking that the last months of her life were about her being swindled. It's incomprehensible. It really is. It's unconscionable what they've done.
As Karen reviewed her mother's bank records and the text messages on her phone, it became clear how that money disappeared so quickly.
She just got another text.
It's endless.
This is while we've been here.
936, 944, 948, 951, 953, 955, 956, 1001, 1004, 1006, 1007, 1010, 1014, 1016.
I mean, it's every few minutes.
It's every few minutes.
And what does this say?
Make this monthly recurring donation.
And it's checked already.
Yep. Oh my God. This is confusing. Look at this, bright yellow, all these checks, all these directions. I don't even know how to make sense of this.
The box is pre-checked, meaning the campaign can automatically withdraw recurring donations, monthly, even weekly. We tried to reach WinRed by phone,
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
text, and email,
All right. 4250.
and then went to the address that WinRed lists as its headquarters in Virginia.
Hi, I'm Kyung Law from CNN. Could I speak with somebody from WinRed?
They're not located in the building on site.
WinRed lists this address officially with the state of Virginia, but they don't actually have anyone here.
If you look at a donor as an endless pile of $25 contributions and not think about the reason they're contributing, that's a problem.
Matthew Hurt is a lifelong Republican and the Arlington, Virginia GOP chair, a rare Republican who does not use WinRed to fundraise.
It shouldn't be complicated or nefarious or tricky or schemy to have somebody make a contribution.
Why are you using the word scheme?
Any platform that tricks older donors into giving money unwittingly seems like a scheme to me.
Though CNN found nearly 7 times more complaints from Republican donors, families of Democratic donors have also unwittingly given away their money. Matt and Dave Weisbart's mother, in cognitive decline, donated more than $200,000 to Democratic campaigns through Act Blue.
It's theft. It's elder abuse. There's no doubt about it.
By talking publicly, they hope one thing might work to get Act Blue to return some of their mother's life savings: shame.
The right thing to do, the moral thing to do, is to return that money to her. You don't have to. It's not illegal what they did, but it's morally wrong.
And Kim joins us now. I mean, have any of the accused responded to the allegations?
Well, as you saw, all of our attempts to contact WinRed to no avail. We kept following up, and still they completely ignored our requests for comment. We did hear from the Trump campaign, and that campaign says that they do notify donors before processing recurring donations, and they do have staff on hand to help donors if they want to process any sort of cancellations. As far as Act Blue, we did get a statement, and that statement said that it has a service team to help donors, and if they need refunds, especially if there are signs of cognitive decline, they will try to assist them beyond their standard 90-day refund window, Anderson.
Is this legal?
You know, given what we've laid out, you would think that there's some sort of remedy. So there are a few states that are trying to do this, try to find some legal remedy, but it is protected speech. Political speech, as you know, Anderson, is protected. And so it's a very high constitutional barrier in order to prove any sort of fraud.
Kyung La, thanks so much. Coming